recorded at the Bob Studios. It's the history of bad ideas.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the History of Bad Ideas podcast. I'm your co-host, Jason Brigger.
And I'm your co-host, Jeff Now.
I got that right for once.
Yes,
I didn't
did.
screw up the host part. Welcome, everybody. Just wanted to let you know that this will probably be a mini episode. We're still going to count it as number 6 just because we couldn't come up with anything else. And but like I said, just kind of some things that we found out later in the week, and just kind of some question and answer to each other, and it's just so you can get to know the host.
Yay, hosts.
And there you go. So that's it. So enjoy, and hopefully by this time you've downloaded episode 5, where I gushed all over Guardians of the Galaxy.
So we don't need to do any more Guardian gushing.
Pretty much for the next 6 months, probably. I gushed enough. Okay.
Well, I suppose the first bit of information that came through that made us say, hey, we want to talk about that, was the news on Heroes Reborn.
Yay.
Hey, I'm actually excited about it.
Tim Kring is writing a 13-episode miniseries. There's... My thought, it's a 13-episode miniseries about the heroes that was on a couple years ago. Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. And kind of breaking news came out. They announced it, I think, Sunday, didn't they?
I think it was Saturday night during the Olympics.
Yeah.
They had an ad during the Olympics.
For it. So, and we have to give a shout out to Nick Carmesino on this one. He broke the news for us.
Yes, he broke the news so quick we couldn't find the news to even report.
So that's why
last podcast.
So that's why we held off until episode 6 to report this. But thank you, Carmesino, for that. You are the best color man in the business and our only one. So good for you. But anyway, so he's doing a 13-episode miniseries on it. Some of the original characters may be back. Originally, I remember them Xbox One talking about this, and as a potential series along with Halo. And then all of a sudden NBC decide, I guess they're going to pick it up because, well, it's NBC and they have nothing else.
Yeah, I don't know if it died in Xbox or if NBC kind of jumped in and said, hey, we have the rights to that, we're going to take it. I don't know, but, you know, they wanted to go ahead and do it. And I'm excited about it because the biggest problem I was having with the way Heroes went originally was that they just kept holding on to these characters and telling stories about characters that, you know, they already told. They didn't need to tell so many cheerleader stories or hero stories where you could easily, you know, mix in other and new people. And when they did bring in new people, they tend to write them out quickly.
And supposedly it's going to hit the airwaves next year.
Yeah, 2015.
So
yeah, we've got over a year to wait for it.
In a year to speculate. I'll be honest, if Hiro, Hiro, is not in it, I would be ecstatic. As much as I love time travel, I'm perfectly fine not having time travel in this one.
Well, and as I said, it's the cast members from the original run may pop up. They're not going to be the focus of the stories. So I don't have a problem with the one episode, all of a sudden Hero's in, throws us some little advice and disappears just so he doesn't bring Ando. I'd be fine with that.
The funny thing is, though, Tim Kring, and this is according to Entertainment Weekly, did mention to them, I think it was last year, that it was going to come back, but he was reimagining it and was going to reinvent itself. So, obviously, everybody thought at that time comic books, which I think it was a comic book for a little bit.
They've made a couple comics. I know I've got one comic from the Heroes run, but that was during the height of its popularity.
Okay, I was going to ask you, was that during when it was on air?
Yes.
Okay. And I know Firefly does that now, too, with their comic book series.
Yeah.
I think they're on a new season, actually, a new
series started, I think it was last month or whatnot. I don't know if the second one from the new run, I think it was a 6-issue series was coming out. But it's pretty much picking up where the movie Serenity left off.
Is Alan Tudyk in it, since he died in Serenity?
Yeah, I think they might throw flashbacks in it. Because
they should have just done a clone. I would have been fine. I love that character.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, when they killed the character of Wash. Spoiler alert.
It's 5 years old. It's okay.
When they killed off, they killed off Wash and they killed off
Preacher.
Book.
Yeah, the Preacher.
But and I was like, oh, but those were the two. Obviously, Wash was the most likable character, the one who you could sit around and have a beer with.
He doesn't sing and dance though.
He may.
He may.
But and Shepherd Book was the one that had like the most mysterious past that you wanted to know about. It's like they killed him off. It's like, oh, I know they put his story in a comic.
I do remember that.
But I haven't read it, so I need to find out what the mysterious past that Shepherd Book had was. I did like the line from Serenity, though, when they were hiding out with Shepherd Book, and Mal says, "You need to tell me about your past sometime." And he's like, "No, I don't." And then he died in the next scene or whatever, so...
And even a Baldwin was great in that.
He's not related to those Baldwins.
I knew that would get you. I knew it would get you.
Don't call him Baldwin like he's one of them Massapequa Baldwins.
Well, according to Entertainment Weekly, and this, like I said, it's all kind of breaking, so nobody knows what's going on. But it says, Heroes doesn't just have a creative, and this is a quote from Pop Watch, their blog, Heroes doesn't just have a creative challenge to conquer, it has an image problem too. This is not 24, which is getting an event series, aka miniseries, revival, later this spring. 24 had run out of gas, but not out of goodwill. That is kind of interesting to say. I mean, how much goodwill is left out there for Heroes?
I'm hoping people remember the first season when they think of it, because they're reinventing it or reimagining or whatever word you want to use, but they're trying to go back to that feel, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, even though I kept giving them the benefit of the doubt through seasons 2, 3, and 4. And I actually think it got a little better in the last season than it was previous, but it was already dead.
Yeah, at that time. And like I said, NBC has nothing else out there. I mean, I know you like Community, which is looking like it's getting renewed because, again, there's nothing there.
Yeah, I think they have Parks and Rec and Community, and they don't have any other sitcoms. And they were the sitcom network, especially heyday in the 80s and 90s. All the great sitcoms are on NBC. They've got 2 sitcoms right now, and unless I think some of the...
Michael J. Fox show got canceled.
Okay, that one's gone.
Which is funny because they had showed 15 episodes, and they still had 7 left because it went straight to series.
Oh.
And pretty much you're never going to see the light. Which is sad, too, because...
They'll pop up on Hulu
Correct.
Plus or Netflix or something.
NBCGraveyard.com or something.
If someone really wants to see them, they can. I haven't seen one episode, so I don't need to see episode 15.
And I like Michael J. Fox. It was a good concept. I liked the idea. It just, the writing was not good. And then you got Sean Saves the World.
Oh, yeah.
Which got canceled. I mean, they seriously got Parks and Rec, Community, and Hollywood Game Night, which is funny. Yeah. I like Hollywood Game Night. And they do Grimm, too, don't they?
They do Grimm. I can't remember. I know I was reading about the sitcom specifically, and they pretty much mentioned the 2. And I know they've got 2 or 3 new ones coming out for the winter season. So and I don't think there's a whole lot of expectation. I think About a Boy is one of them.
I did see that episode. I did see the first one.
Okay.
It was enjoyable.
I enjoyed the movie that it's based off of. So I mean, I want to give it a chance. But
and Minnie Driver plays a psychotic person, and I think it fits her well. About a Boy does get now I've only seen one episode. They've only put one out, and we did watch that. I actually watched that today, and I enjoyed it. They do have Blacklist, which I like that series with James Spader, and every time you see him, you go, "Ooh, Age of Ultron is going to be awesome," because he's Ultron. But the problem is, with Blacklist, I liked it a lot, but it was so contrived. And I know it's a great hit for them, but after a certain point, I had five of them on DVR, and at that point, I was like, I just don't care. It was a good series, nothing against it. I was done with it. Yeah,
I never got into it, and I think I saw 10 minutes of one episode, and it kind of... Yeah, it wasn't like the first episode, so, things are already going on. And there was just, like, one episode where, like, the lady from it follows him to this one house, and she's, like, a federal agent. She walks in, and the people are in the middle of making counterfeit money, and she does nothing to stop or report it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I realize you got whatever weird relationship with James Spader's villain guy. But, I mean... You're just going to ignore this counterfeit operation you just walked in the middle of.
And I think, spoiler alert, and I have no evidence on this, I think the big rumor out there is that James Spader is her dad in it.
They pretty much said no.
Oh, they did?
Well, I thought it was in like one of the first early episodes where she point blank asks him and he says no. So unless they're saying, oh, I was lying to you the whole time, which would be a cheap cop-out.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me, though.
But I think, I hope they've got, I hope they don't do it.
Yeah. So it started with Heroes who went to an NBC issue. What would you do to change NBC?
I don't know. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
I don't know. Not watch half of NBC's schedule?
Would you watch the bad NBC shows for a Klondike bar?
No, I'm not a big Klondike bar fan.
Oh. What if it's a peanut butter Klondike bar?
I'll do. Well, peanut butter is pretty good, if anything, as long as it's in the refrigerator.
It's in the freezer if it's in a Klondike
That's true.
bar.
That's true. You gotta keep peanut butter in the fridge. So there you go. So Heroes, what we started off with is coming back. Don't have much information. It's fun to speculate, and which we just did. So I do have a question for you.
All right, hit me.
Okay, one of my favorite shows to watch is House Hunters.
Okay.
And what show or shows do you watch that I don't even know about? We've known each other, I've known you since I was 18. And so,
has it been that long?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I've known you for 16 years.
Wow.
Almost 17. That's depressing.
Yeah, now you're making me feel old.
Yes. So I've known you almost half my life. That is depressing.
Wow.
So, and only like a fifth of your life. So there you go.
Wow. I hate you
I know you do.
so much.
It's like
Flames on the side of my face, burning, heaving breath.
Let us in. Let us in.
Let us out. Let us out.
So I love House Hunters. So what show do you watch that I wouldn't know that it doesn't even have to be a TV, like a thing at night, just something you watch?
Something. Well, just because I know right before we started recording this, I was telling you how I was just watching last season's World's Strongest Man. 2013's World's Strongest Man. Brian Shaw, USA. Woo!
Did he win?
Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh,
But
damn it.
Unfortunately, though, he beat out my man Zadrunas Savickas. 3-time champion, he was the current champion.
I had him in the fantasy league, and I was kind of disappointed.
No, you never. I always have Zadrunas in the fantasy
Oh, my
league.
bad. My bad.
I don't let anyone get Zadrunas.
I had Magnuson.
Magnuson, yeah, he's been 20 years since he's been in.
Well, that's why I'm not winning in fantasy league. I never said I was good at it.
Now, if you pick Brian Shaw, you would have the advantage.
It's kind of like the NBA fantasy league that we had a long time ago on Yahoo,
Lord.
back in the late 90s. And I think my brother won just because he was the only one that paid attention.
Yeah, after week 2, he changed his lineup.
No one else changed their lineup. Damn NBA.
Oh, you can't see my
Jeff
mad
is shaking his fist.
Yeah, my mad fist shake there.
So I love House Hunters. It's one of the shows that obviously I don't go out of my way to see it, but I have 2 kids now. We don't have much of a social life at night. So at 10 o'clock at night, House Hunters is on. Everything else is on DVR, so who cares? Yeah. And I know it was supposedly staged, and they came out and said, well, everybody, the person that gets it, or the house they pick,
they've already purchased.
Yeah, it's under contract.
Yeah.
Supposedly they stopped that because it came out.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know how much that is, but I love House Hunters. I don't even know why. It's just addicting. And I think I like watching the people complain, I can't buy this house. The faucets. Look at the faucets.
Oh, I don't like these faucets. Or, oh my gosh, this room is pink. I can't buy a house with a pink room. I've never heard of paint.
Here's $20. Go buy a gallon of paint. Have a good day. So I like that. And I'm trying to think, what, you got any other ones?
I do enjoy watching cooking competition shows.
Like Chopped?
Like Chopped.
Okay.
Chopped, one I really like. Even Hell's Kitchen, I watched that when that's on.
Is that still on?
Well, it's not on currently, but I think there's a new season that will be coming out probably in
summer.
the fall or summer,
fall.
Maybe summer. Top Chef, I love Top Chef. I think that was the big daddy of them all. But even some of the ridiculous ones like Cupcake Wars and things like that.
You just like the word cupcake, and you like cupcakes, so...
Well, I do like cupcakes.
I do like cupcakes, too.
Although Cupcake Wars has like the worst judge on all judging shows.
Who is it?
Oh, some French dude, and I can't remember what his name is, but his critiques are just the awfulest.
Awful. That's not a word.
The worst.
You know,
I was going to say awful and the worst, and it just came out awfulest.
We are on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast, and we're seriously just hashtag awful because I think we use that word like 16 times in an episode, and we understand that. Okay.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and hashtag awfulist.
There you go. On Walking Dead on Sunday night, Abraham used the word "son of a dick," which is now trending.
Son of a dick.
And I did put that on our Facebook, or on our Twitter account. Son of a dick. I like that.
All right.
And what we talked about too. I like Restaurant Impossible.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big fan of that's Robert Irvine in that one. I actually will watch the bar one with John Taffer.
See, I got bored with that one.
Well, Taffer's an ass.
Yes, he is,
and I think that's his. He purposely tries to be an ass, I think, but that one, I think. I don't know. I suppose it's kind of the what was the Gordon Ramsay one? I suppose it really started.
Restaurant. No. I know which one you talk about. What he goes into the restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know which. Yeah.
But I mean, they're just takeoffs of that. But I like the bar ones mainly because the problems these people have in bars seem to be worse than.
It makes your life a lot better.
Oh God! I mean, well, when people buy bars, they don't think about I have to keep hygiene up. At least most people when they buy a restaurant. Think a little bit about hygiene anyway.
Well, I think especially with a bar, and they've talked about too in that show. Everybody thinks, it's easy. We're just going to have a bar. It's going to be blast.
Bar. It's going to be fun. It's like no, it actually is work to run and operate a bar.
And if they don't think it's working, they should talk to your brother, who's a bartender.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Restaurant Impossible, and I always look at the reality shows, and I don't watch much, but like the Restaurant Impossibles, the Bar Rescue, and I try to pick out the ones I think are the least fake and least, not fake, staged.
Yeah, least staged, I agree
I think
that.
Restaurant Impossible is not staged as much as anything. I think...
They fall into their formula where
they do.
Robert Irvine tells the designer everything he wants to do and then tells them they have to do it for $2,000.
Yes.
And it's like, really? Come on.
I need you to get a new freezer and everythand everything in this place for $1,200.
I need you to tear up this floor, put a new floor, put a new ceiling on, paint these walls, and you got $2,000 to do it. And new floor is $2,000. I can't do anything else.
And I do like Hotel Impossible. Do you watch that?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, it's beautiful. 10 o'clock, same channel. No, it's on TLC. Which one is it on? I don't even know.
Probably TLC. I haven't watched that since...
Page left trading spaces.
Page left trading spaces.
No, it's on Travel. It's on Travel. My bad.
Okay.
Travel channel. And it's Anthony. I forget what his last name.
Anthony Bourdain?
No, not Bourdain.
Oh.
But he goes in and he basically tells these hotels, what the hell is wrong with them. I'm just hooked on that show. And I feel like that one's the least staged because there's one episode where the owners actually made the pool or the sauna area like grow mold. Now, mind you, this has been long term.
Yeah.
So you can't grow mold over time, trust me. But they tried to say, and he said, "What the hell's going on? Why do you not have the humidifier turned on?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we want to give you something to work on when the show came." And this is on camera. And he says, "No, that's not my job. My job is to fix your hotel. The editors figure out what to do as a story. This is not what you need to do."
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that they at least brought that up or called that out. That if someone's trying to do something,
so like I said, I like it. It's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, he seems down to earth, and you go in and like after watching it, you never want to stay at another hotel again. You don't.
Yeah, I suppose that like I said, that kind of reminds me also in the one episode of Ghost Hunters or something, which I don't watch, but I've happened to see a couple of them. But the one episode where they're like, "Oh, we hear something," and they find their speakers.
Yes.
And they're like, "Why do you have speakers?" "Oh, we do that because the guests kind of like it and they expect this, so we pipe in spooky things." And it's like, why did you call us out here if you're purposely, and not letting us know that this stuff exists?
And Ghost Hunters I used to like until it was about, ooh, did you hear that? I think that was a step. And it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Why are we talking?
They walk around and, something's happening. And then they cut to commercial and they come back and like, oh no, I'm sorry, I just bumped into something.
That was my bad. That was my bad.
Oh, that was my bad. And then, like, the excitement comes when they're listening to the, 20 hours of audio footage and they hear one little thing. What, did you hear that? I think they said something. There's a ghost.
But, according to Jeff Morris, the EVPs are... There is some in that show that you can hear.
Yeah.
The problem is it's on TV, so you don't believe it. I trust Jeff Morris just because we've known him forever. But
he said you hear something, and in your mind you might say, well, it sounds like human speech could be saying this, but it also could be the wind just striking something differently, or an electrostatic thing in the electrostatic thing field.
Electromagnetic?
That's my whole scientific
Jeff is
knowledge.
making his arms like a ghost or a marionette. I think it looks like a marionette.
I'm marionetting a ghost.
Okay, thank you. I did think it was funny with Morris, though. Oh my god, it's become a clip show. It's a TV clip
back to episode 4. Remember that time?
I was watching Treehouse Builders or something like that.
I've seen that once or twice.
Yeah, and they did a clip show. I'm like, how can you do a clip show on Treehouse?
Although...
And that was so staged to clip a show. Oh, remember when we had that snake?
Oh, snake! But you want to talk about a clip show? The show that had the best clip show, Community.
Oh God!
They did clips from shows that they never showed. They would go back to an episode, and then they would film an entire new scene that could have take place within that episode, but none of their clips were previously aired.
Okay.
You admitted that was at least interesting.
It was humorous.
Okay.
Humorous.
I'll slowly, in about 8 years, get you to watch another episode.
You're never going to get me to watch that show. I'm sorry. It just can't happen.
Oh, you're so wrong. Oh, well, we'll just have to move on.
And now, since this is a special podcast, a mini episode, first off, do you love our new music, intro music?
Yes, intro music. Yay, we finally found something.
It was public domain, too, so that made it even better.
That's the only way we could get something.
That's right. Now we like to bring you a new segment. It's called Jeffication.
Woohoo! Yeah, the Jeffication segment here is going to be me going on a little rant about something that bothers me. And it's a word that a friend of mine had coined after having to sit there and listen to me go on and on and on and on. He just made a comment about, sounds like I'm Jefficating again. So that stuck, and I decided, I'll go ahead and I'll Jefficate over the pod waves. The subject of this week's Jeffication is why Star Wars is not science fiction.
I'm just going to have my beer right now. I'm just going to sit back.
Yeah, well, let's see where it is. Merriam-Webster's defines science fiction as the fiction dealing principally with the impact of actual or imagined science on society or individuals, or having a scientific factor as an essential orienting component. And my feeling is Star Wars does neither, or any, or it is pretty much a fantasy in space. There's no scientific principle they're trying to advance, or they travel in space, but they don't explain any scientific reason behind traveling in space. They don't try to further why you even could travel in faster than light speed. None of it is science. I mean, it's more of a religious movie following the Force. I mean, it's religion versus science. Everything is figured out by religion.
They say punch it, Chewie. If that's not scientific, I don't know what is. How do you get to hyperdrive? Punch it, Chewie. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the extent of their scientific explaining. Punch it, Chewie.
I think you got some explaining to do.
I mean, it's like your coolest weapon is, powered by God or whatever.
They never said God.
Okay, it's powered by religion, and we all know religion and science are at opposing odds.
Just ask Bill Nye.
Yes. All right, so there was my little rant. If anybody wants to debate me or complain, you can always throw a line out on our Facebook page.
Yep. History of Bad Ideas Podcast on Facebook.
Or our Twitter.
at Bad Ideas Podcast. So thank you for everybody that's followed us on that. We got a pretty good response already in a week.
Yeah, it surprises me.
And I apologize. I have become a Twitter whore. As much as I used to make fun of it, it's pretty much like every technology. I was against Mac computers. Then I got one, loved it. I was against texting, texting, and now I can't live without it. And it bugs Jeff because he has a 1980s phone and it takes him forever to respond.
It's not a 1980s, it's a 2005. Come on.
I don't even think half my texts get to you.
They might not. My phone won't take mass group texts on iPhones or whatnot. So or it actually sends them as a blank picture message. So, and then when everyone responds, I get about 12 blank picture messages on my phone. And I'm like, I don't have unlimited text. Quit this shit.
Go to Twitter. We may put his phone number out there. If any phone companies would like to give him a new phone, that would be great. Maybe from 2007.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody wants to give me a free phone with free data and anything like that, I'll accept it. I'll plug your product over the podcast. I'm not embarrassed to do it.
He won't know how to turn it on, but
I'll learn.
I don't know about that. So, anything else you want to talk about?
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to maybe a diamond in the rough or so. It might not be too hidden because it's a very popular
Website?
Yeah, the YouTube, a YouTube site. It's the Vlog Brothers YouTube site. It's VLOG. It's John and Hank Green are brothers, and they go back and forth with different 5-minute little vlogs where they go back and forth, and it's got quite a strong following. I think they started in about 2007, and they've got a following, which I stumbled across them about a year ago or something and kind of followed, and they do other things. I know, like, John Green is an author who's got books on the New York Times bestseller. I know there's a lot of excitement about a movie that they're making based off of his one book, The Fault in Our Stars. I haven't read it, but the people who have are big fans of it, as comments that you get on some of the Vlog Brother videos. I know they also do a crash course where they try to teach different things from history and sciences and literature. So it's a fun way to learn. And the people who follow them are known as nerd fighters. They live in nerd fighteria, as they call the domain. And,
are you a nerd fighter?
I am a nerd fighter. Anybody who wants to be a nerd fighter can call themselves a nerd fighter. The only thing you need is the desire to be one. They do have an online site or whatever where you can sign up or whatever, and it takes a day or two or something because you have to apply, because I think they want to make sure you're not a spam bot or something like that. But I was accepted into Nerd Fighteria a week or so ago, so I'm joining them. But I'll throw out the definition they give for nerd fighter. Is that a nerd fighter is a person who is proud to be nerdy and intelligent and who fights to decrease world suck.
The world.
Nerd fighters are not composed of cells and tissue, but instead made entirely of awesome. Nerd fighters are known to perform their happy dances when they are joyful, and each happy dance is unique to its respective nerd fighter. Nerd fighters are diverse in their hobbies, which can range from writing nerd fighter songs to playing D&D. Nerd fighters have also been described as someone who is outgoing, intelligent, and awesome enough to accept nerd as a compliment. So I want to throw a
shout out
to the Vlog Brothers and Nerd Fighteria. And so, yeah, if you want to check out their YouTube channel, I think people who listen to this podcast would probably enjoy what they have to say.
Okay. I do have a little hidden gem. Okay. I know we're not doing this, it's kind of a mini-sode, but one of my favorite comic books recently, it just came out. I think we're up to issue 3, Black Widow.
Okay.
And I did make fun of Black Widow and making a movie a couple episodes ago.
But now you're getting into the book.
The book is very well done. If you like Hawkeye, which has received great reviews.
I haven't read the book, but like I said, I've heard great reviews.
Hawkeye. I love Hawkeye. Even the art's beautiful. I mean, the art's beautiful on it. Black Widow is very similar to it. She's basically, it's what she does. Hawkeye is what he does when he's not with the Avengers. Black Widow, same exact thing. What she does when she's not with S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Avengers. And basically she has a lot of red in her ledger, as the movie says.
Okay. I thought you were going to say what, she takes bubble baths and pillow fights.
Silly. And that was an Anakin voice there. Are you an angel?
No.
Stop
no,
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
We already discussed that in the last episode. We don't need to. No.
Are you an angel?
Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, make a long story short.
Too late.
We all arrive one by one. Anyways, so she has a lot of red in her ledger, like they say in the movie, and in the comic book, she takes these jobs killing and kidnapping bad people, pretty much the worst of the worst, and she takes money, but it's just enough to live by. And her attorney is like, why a business guy says basically, why aren't you taking more? You can make double this. And she said, I got my own reasons. And so it's very well done. I loved it. I loved the first 3 issues. It's up there right now with the Twilight Zone series, is one of my favorite ones, along with Hawkeye. So a lot of the big name books I have not been too enthused by lately. Justice League.
Yeah, I agree. The stuff I've been getting has been kind of bogged down and getting a little. Yeah.
Batman is decent. Detective's decent, but nothing's. All New X-Men is really well done. Yeah. We've talked about that before. I like that. I like where they're heading. I think they're going to it. So if you any recommendations, if you go stop by a comic book store, which I go to Up and Away in in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's on Harrison Avenue. They helped us out a little bit. And like I said, I got Black Widow, Hawkeye, and probably all New X-Men are my probably 3 favorite right now.
All right.
So I think that's about it.
I think it's about time to wrap this mini-ep up.
So we will be back for episode 7. And like I said, thank you for listening. And Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.